Go.
Welcome back to the Wild Cardinal Network. I'm Jack McCormick, and I'm here with,
Sam Evanston.
Rocco Fayuku.
and we're here with Joe Kuckelman, Assistant Director of Admissions at Benedictine College. How are you doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. It's nice to be down in the south, enjoying some good seafood.
Absolutely. All right, we have some questions for you here today, so we'll go ahead and go into that.
So actually, my first question is, how did you travel down here?
Well, drove to the airport,
Uh-huh.
hopped on a plane, flew to Pensacola, and then drove a car here.
Nice, nice. And what's it like being in the South for, I guess the winter?
It's kind of a nice break, except really up in Kansas, winters aren't that bad. Past about month, we've had 60 degrees and sunny every day. We've been hitting the golf course, playing golf. So
Oh,
typical Midwestern winter is not really a thing. So it's nice to come down south though for a little bit. Different culture, nice people. So
sounds nice. Well, also, I was gonna ask about the Benedictine College scholarships.
yeah.
What's that like?
Yeah, so we have a variety of scholarships available. All seniors, as soon as they hit submit on their application, which application is completely free for students to apply with, as soon as we get your GPA and your test scores, we can offer you anywhere from 11 to 21,000 annually. So that's an annual scholarship, as long as you don't go on academic probation, meaning drop below 2.0,
Mm-hmm.
which that's pretty easy to do. That's a C average. You're able to maintain your scholarship for all 4 years. So over 4 years, if you hit 20,000, that's $80,000. Mom and dad's pretty happy about that. So.
Mm-hmm. And thank you.
Yeah.
So I have a question, and it was not technically like about like I guess you don't like really specialize in this, but I was wondering if there's any like notable alumni, like anyone that
Yeah.
went there. Yeah.
So there's three that come to mind. We'll start off with Jamie Mueller. Jamie Mueller was a NFL football player for the Buffalo Bills back in the 90s, early 2000s. There's actually a sports bar and restaurant in Atchison still named after Jamie Mueller. So it's
That's
pretty
cool.
cool having him. If we have any Office fans out there, Todd Packer, David Keckner, played football for us also before he went on to be a Hollywood actor. So it's kind of cool having him. And then
And
probably one of our most famous all across the world. Her name is Wangari Maathai. She's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. She started the Green Belt in Africa, which is kind of cool because it ties in with our biology department and just some of the cool, unique projects that they have started there. So,
that's cool. And I got another question, and this is more about the college itself. What is the student to faculty ratio?
yeah, so we have a 13 to 1 ratio, which means our students really get to know the professors one on one. Average classroom size for a freshman is about 40 students in a classroom with professor. Everybody gets to know those professors. Over my 4 years, I got to know all my professors, develop these incredible relationships. Um, Academic advisors, you go sit in their offices, you become
Right.
good friends with them. So then when junior year, senior year hits, looking for internships and jobs, you're asking your advisors, hey, can you
Yeah.
do layers of rec? Can you help me fill out this application? Do you know anybody at this company? I had a friend that he ended up getting on at the Federal Reserve because we had a alumni that was the chair of the Kansas City Reserve, and our advisor pulled some strings
Make
for
it
him.
easier.
Makes it a lot easier when you got inside connection.
Yeah.
So yeah,
All right. Thank you.
yep.
Hi, my name is Franklin Cash. I'm a sophomore here at St. Michael, and I'm just gonna ask, like, what type of opportunities does Benedictine College offer to help me like further my religious life?
Yeah. So we have a campus ministry department on campus. That's a great place to start. Um, Also, we're founded by Benedictine monks. Those Benedictine monks still live on campus. We have about 40 of those monks. We actually have one monk. His name is Plastus Lee. He's actually from the Mobile Bay area.
Really?
Great guy to get to know, but the monks offer vocational direction. But on top of ministry and the monks, we have 14 different masses offered on the weekends. We have 3 daily masses, 36 hours of confession, perpetual adoration. Then over fall and spring break, we offer a plethora of mission trips, international and domestic that students can take, along with Focus and St. Paul's Outreach. So there's lots of Bible studies, one-on-ones, retreats, pretty much anything that you could ever imagine on the
Right.
ministry and religious side we have available. Also, we're a Catholic college, you got to take theology classes.
That's
So
right.
yeah. So
Is it theology classes all 4 years
nope.
required, or
You just have to complete 3 theology classes unless you're planning to do a minor or a major in that, and then the curriculum kind of changes on that. But every student has to do at least a minimum of 3 theology courses.
all right?
My name is Mark Flynn. I'm a junior here. I just want to know, it's a pretty broad question. What's
hmm
one thing you wish all students knew about the application process and the admissions process for colleges, not just yours, but any?
hmm It is not as stressful as what students should make it out to be. I know mom and dad is in the background hyping it up, telling you to get all the essays perfect and everything like
Yeah, I
that.
know mine are.
It's not as stressful as it needs to be, especially law schools since COVID. They've gone test optional. Test scores aren't as big of a deal. So it kind of makes stuff a little bit easier for you guys, takes a little bit of pressure off. But I know mom and dad's on the backside saying, hey, you got to do this, this, and that. Um, and then the other big thing that I think people kind of get a little bit of misconception about the application process is financial aid. A lot of families think scholarships are the only possibility, but there's a lot of different opportunities and it's really personalized by each family. So,
Yeah. So what's like the most important thing on an application?
it kind of depends on the school. For us, definitely your GPA. If you're sitting below a 2.0, we won't even consider you. Um, so that's kind of the big thing with us is GPA. Other schools is going to be your test score. Others is going to be the essay. It just really depends on which school. But for Benedictine, it's going to be the GPA.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Evan Hilton. I'm a junior. My question is, what is unique about Benedictine College compared to other Jesuit colleges and universities?
Yeah. So there's actually going to be one big difference out of that question. Benedictine is founded by Benedictine monks, not Jesuit priests. So we're going to have a very different atmosphere, more traditional approach to the Catholic religion. But overall, Benedictine College, compared to any of the Newman Guide schools or other Catholic colleges, we are going to have a very organic community on campus. You come in your freshman year, you're going to know half of campus. We got 2,300 students on campus. You're going to get to know a lot of them. You're going to get involved with different activities. You're going to know people over freshman through senior spread. And it's all just organically occurring. People are super, super, super friendly up there, which I think that's awesome to have.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I was thinking about what you said about the financial aid. What are all
Yep.
the different options for that? I know there's scholarships, but
Mhm.
what else is there?
So with Benedictine, we kind of have a unique approach to it. All of our students that apply are going to receive an academic merit-based scholarship. So as soon as you hit submit on your application, we're going to look at your transcript and your test scores, and we're going to award you scholarship ranging anywhere from 11 to 21,000 annually. That's good for all 4 years, and if you choose to do a fifth year, as long as you can provide evidence to Office of Financial Aid, we can work with you on that. We have a handful of endowment scholarships. Those are donated by donors to help students out. Students can apply it for those through their admissions counselors. We also accept the FAFSA, so there's a wide array of financial aid coming from the federal government. And then the biggest thing I always push students to look at is outside scholarships.
Oh.
Everybody knows somebody that got that Knights of Columbus scholarship or the local community scholarship.
Yeah.
Those go a long way and they can also help chip off a little bit. So outside scholarships is another great avenue. So,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm sophomore Sam Crosby here, and I was gonna ask you, what's your favorite sport that Benedictine offers?
Yeah. So I grew up playing soccer in high school and that, and so automatically attached to soccer teams, in particular women's soccer team. I had some good friends that played on there. That's a big thing about Benedictine. You're gonna have friends on the football team, baseball, soccer, basketball. You're gonna have friends on all the sports teams. But personally, looking at my college career, women's soccer was the best one. There's a group of guys. They started this thing called the Rowdy Ravens. So it was a bunch of college guys. They started painting their chests. They'd go stand on the sidelines, heckle the other schools, the refs, and so forth. Just creating a unique atmosphere. And usually our women, they have a very successful season. And so it's even better to go to a sport that's back-to-back years and go into national playoffs and stuff like that. So it just created an awesome atmosphere. So that's probably my favorite one, but we have a total of 19 different varsity sports ranging from football, volleyball, cheer, dance, baseball, track, soccer, wrestling. There's a lot more, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Hi, I'm Calvin Asher, junior at St. Michael. What would you say to some of the upcoming seniors who want to apply to Benedictine?
Yeah. Don't let there be any barriers when you're thinking of applying. Benedictine, we have a free application, takes about 15 to 20 minutes. Essay's optional. Essay's really there, so if there's anything you want me to know about you, you can go ahead and let me know. It's not one of those things that's a requirement like most schools. So don't let the application be a barrier. We'd love to hear from you guys. Application opens up August 1st. So if you ever have a school that says, hey, we got a free application, don't skip out on that because what's the worst thing that can happen? You get surprised.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
And I was gonna ask you, like, do you know exactly how many students attend?
Yeah, so we're seeing at about almost 2,300 students on campus, and then we have some students in our master's programs. Each class on average is going to have about 600 to 700 students in there. So like the way I kind of like explain it is it's large enough that you get to know a lot of different people, but small enough you get to develop actual relationships. It's not just kind of shallow relationships. You get to know everybody. Like the guys' dorms, Turner Hall, there's 120 guys in there. My freshman year, I got to know every single one of those guys. I knew what majors they were, what academic clubs, sports they played, everything like that. You got to know all these guys, and then over the 4 years, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And so it's an awesome experience having that smaller group. So
I'm Ryan Garlock. I'm a junior. My question is, what major is the most popular at Benedictine?
yeah. So I'd say our School of Business is probably the most popular. About a fourth of all the students graduate from there. But some of our largest growing majors are just going to be engineering, nursing, architecture, and education, along with theology and philosophy. Theology and philosophy are definitely some of the larger programs. They have the largest faculty base on campus. Engineering is growing very rapidly. And then architecture and nursing, those are more recent programs, but we're having extreme success with job placement and academics going off to grad school and stuff like that. So those programs are awesome, but total we have 56 majors and minors available for students, and all of our programs are accredited.
Thank you.
Hey, I'm Chase Morris, freshman. I heard you just said the engineering program's really good. What classes and programs do y'all have for that?
So within the engineering department, we are going to have mechanical, civil, electrical, and chemical engineering. All of them kind of have a different curriculum associated with them. There's going to be 9 semesters there, so it hits the 145 credit hours, so you can take any of the exams that you need to after graduating. But our students are going to have a good base within the basics, chemistry, physics, calculus, so you have a good foundation, and then you can really branch out to any of those courses after that. So if you start off as chemical, you can always switch to electrical or mechanical because you have a good solid foundation.
Sorry. Hey, not freshman, sorry. Hey, Bryce Morgan, junior here at St. Michael. Would you recommend Benedictine College for a student going to a medical field? And if so, what classes do you recommend?
Yeah. So Benedictine does not have strictly pre-medical major. We do have a pre-medical emphasis. So what that means is we're going to have an academic advisor that's going to help build each student's schedule around that. Most of our students are going to focus on biology or biochemistry. We do have a handful of students if they're thinking more of like physical therapy, OT, dental, stuff like that. We're going to have some different classes like PT and OT. We're going to recommend students do biology and exercise science just so they kind of get exposed to that area of study. But yeah, our biology and biochem is going to be the main focus, but we're going to have our students take bioethics, kinesiology, all kinds of stuff like that that actually introduces you to the human body and how it functions. So then you can sit for the MCAT. And our academic advisor for pre-med majors, she's going to work with you on picking out what study courses you're going to use for the MCAT. Are you on pace for that? What med schools have you applied to? How's your resume look? Everything like that. She's going to help work with you on that. So,
I'm Toby, a junior here at St. Michael, and my question is, what majors and minors are unique to Benedictine? And can you give an example of how they can lead into a future career?
yeah. So probably one of the most unique majors that we have at Benedictine is going to be our architecture department. We have a classical architecture department where everything is done by hand. Dr. Haig, he's the chair of that program. He has this whole theory that are you really an engineer if the power goes out? Meaning, if you don't have access to a computer, how are you going to do your drawings? How are you going to do everything like that?
Right.
So all of our students in our architecture program are going to focus on the classical methods, and it has to be done by hand. So they're going to have a ton of art courses, and they're going to be graded on how well they do that. So it creates a very unique portfolio, which leads to great job placement. And also, if students are interested in going off to grad school, they then have an absolutely incredible portfolio. The other really unique minor that we have, architecture is a major, but I'll go with a minor, is entrepreneurship. This is a minor that is good for anybody that's interested in ever starting their own business. So that can be somebody thinking, hey, I want to do dental and open my own practice. Entrepreneurship is going to teach students the basics of how to start a business, run a business, and how to keep that going. So it really teaches you the groundwork of the business world and how to do it on a smaller scale.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Toby. This is Baylor Olive, and I'm a senior here at St. Michael. And I was wondering, what would you say to all the seniors having a really difficult time deciding on a college and picking the final one?
Yeah. Best advice I can ever give a student when they're trying to make their final decision, whatever colleges are in the final spread for you, go back and visit them again. Go on a visit, just show up on a random day, don't say anything up, or if you want to set something formal up, go for it. But just get a feel what the community is like on campus, because if you don't feel happy or you're gonna feel like you mesh with that community, how are you gonna be successful over 4 years?
Mm-hmm.
So go get a feel for campus, see if this is a place that you can actually call home. Because if you're unhappy, it's gonna be hard to succeed there. You're not gonna have good memories of it. So definitely go visit campus again.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. That was the last question here. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up. And thank you to everyone who asked questions and was part of the crew, and Mr. Tony and Mr. Marlowe. And thank you, Mr. Joe Kuckelman, for coming in today and representing Benedictine and really providing us with such awesome knowledge. And make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube. And we hope to see you again. Go Cardinals!
Good.